So, you want to top the meters. First things first, let's talk basics. Is your gear enchanted and gemmed? Is it the most up-to-date ones available? If not, get it sorted, or you don't have a hope topping the meters in your raid. You need to enchant your weapon and your rings. If you have an empty gem socket, that's a DPS loss. If you don't have enchants, that's a DPS loss. You get the idea? Just remember, your raid leader can always check if you're not using up-to-date enchants and gems. Don't let yourself or your team down on that one. I have known people to buy old gems when the price difference is a quarter the cost of a gold world quest. Baffling why people choose to do that. In my experience, guildies are always happy to help. The next thing that has helped me on my journey to top the meters is class discords. On Wowhead, you can find the class discord list. Choose the relevant Discord for your class, accept the invite. Some of the class Discords are really helpful for anything from your rotation to biz gear or even to top level theory crafting. The competitive WoW Reddit is quite good for research purposes, whether it be discussing certain boss encounters or simply talking about your spec and how to optimize. I find it useful if I have a specific question so can search previous posts. By far the best way to improve your DPS and hit the top of those meters is to sim your toon. Simcraft is an add-on that can be used in conjunction with raidbots to get your equipped and in-bag gear to the website. Simply copy and paste from the add-on into the website text box. Raidbots allows you to sim whatever gear you have in your bags using the top gear function. This feature is great to see what your best available gear is. You do have a limit on how many pieces you can compare depending on how much you pay. This is shown by the iterations at the bottom. You choose the gear that you think would potentially be higher than your equipped gear, and if you're smart, you can work out that if you're adding a piece with 35 corruption, then you will also need to add a piece with 0 corruption to offset it. You can choose to sim potentially upcoming corruptions or corruptions in your bags using the preserved containment section. Next up, you can select what enchants to apply to your gear or what gems for sockets. If you don't have them equipped on the items, you can force the choices into the sim. You can choose your talent and essences, making sure you're running the highest DPS talents and essences for that specific boss. Yes, I sim for each boss encounter. Raidbots gives loads of options to get the sim as close to that boss as you can, providing you choose the relevant choices. Once you've selected everything you want to sim, simply press the button and watch the maths magic. I use Raidbots Premium because I sim a lot and I don't want to wait in the queue. It has 3 different premium options: Rare, Heirloom and Epic. For £3 a month, it's well worth it compared to creating my own spreadsheet and simming it all manually. So I don't really mind giving them the money when they make my life this easy. And there we go. I need to change my trinket to the dragon scale. Raidbot sorted it all for me. Fair play, hats off, what a tool it is. The alternatives are given below just in case you want to see. Okay, now I want to cover what not to do. If you're serious about topping the meters, you have to move away from mainstream guides. Icy Veins, for example, is a great place to start your journey on a new class. It gives the basic overview of what you need to at least be competitive in a raid. But to get to that next level, to top those meters, we need to move on from generic guides. A great source of information on how to optimize your gear is surprisingly streamers. Not just any streamers though, the world's best streamers. For example, I love watching Roger Brown because I main a BM Hunter. I also watch THD Lock because for me he's the best lock streamer there is, and I learn a lot from the things he has to say. Streamers can give really good information on the current patch, best builds, and the rotations used. Okay, the Big Daddy, my personal favorite for how to improve yourself and look at how others beat you. Warcraft logs. It gives a breakdown of every current tier raid boss. For each boss, it gives you the top DPS players. You can filter down to your specific class to give yourself a cheat sheet per boss. Let's have a look at a Raden BM Hunter. The top 100 breakdown gives the most used talents, trinkets, azerite, essences, and corruptions. You can go into each individual player's log. It shows their DPS on that boss, the talents they used on that kill, the trinkets they used, the azerite they were using, and also the essences they were using. So from this single site, you can get a full build that you need to aim for to top the meters. Unless, of course, you're a theory crafter with the skill and you think you can beat them with the build they used. Good luck to you. I do have to mention the spec of your PC. At the start of Legion, I played and I was still using an 8-year-old PC. I was raiding at 10 FPS and wondered why I couldn't stay alive, never mind topping the meters. So make sure your PC can at least allow you to see the fire on the floor so you don't stand in it. The last external factor I want to bring up that can affect your performance is weak auras. With the right set of weak auras, you will be able to track your cooldowns and your main DPS spells. Weak aura setups are personal. They have to suit your style of play. I wouldn't say there is one weak aura that covers everything, but you can use templates on wago.io to build on. Personally, I don't like to track too much, only the things that improve my DPS. That also includes things that stop you dying, because a dead DPS isn't going to top the meters. A golden oldie of a saying is practice makes perfect. This is as relevant in WoW as it is in anything else. I personally find it much easier to get a high log, so the 95 plus logs, on a farm kill rather than a progress kill. The only way to get a high log even on a progress kill is to be ultra prepared. So you've watched every video, you've read the dungeon log, you've pre-planned the position you're going to be at each transition phase. It's a hard thing to do, and I would just recommend you try and top the meters on your farm kills, because then that's when you can practice where you want to pad. Here is a quick secret for you that I'm sure lots of people know, but it's surprising how many don't. You can't top the meters consistently without padding. From experience comes the knowledge of where and how to pad each boss to make sure you hit that top DPS spot. The last real piece of advice that I want to give you guys who want to top the meters is be competitive. Always strive to be number one. If you haven't got that competitive edge, you're never going to be in the place where you can consistently top the meters, because you've consistently got to improve yourself. If it doesn't hurt when you kill the boss and you're second on the meter, you haven't done enough prep. You haven't looked at your build enough. You haven't looked at the boss mechanics enough. You haven't thought about your positioning beforehand enough. There's always more you can do. It should hurt when you're second. That's how you get that edge. That's how you stay competitive. The following couple of clips are what happens when all this advice comes together as one. Basically, you learn how to consistently top the meters in your guild. Whether that be normal, whether that be heroic, whether that be mythic, wherever the level you raid at, you just need to follow these simple steps that I've put in place in order to prep yourself to consistently hit those numbers. Don't let yourself be second. Pad when you have to. Watch this on Hivemind. Pad right at the end just to make sure that you get that number one spot, because it's a farm kill, and at that point when it's farm you can have fun, you can play around, but you can also consistently be number one. To get that number one spot on progress kills is a little bit harder. than farm kills. Like I said previously, you have to prep ready for these progress kills to be in the position to be able to top the meters consistently. As we can see here on Vex, I smashed everyone on our progress kill, and I also topped the meters on our Drestagath kill. But that's because I had put a lot of prep into those boss kills beforehand to know when and where to drop my coolies. I'd watched lots of streams, I'd done the research, I was ready. So to sum up, it's all about the prep. 90% of topping the meters is not the performance on the day, it's how much you do before the kill. If you haven't got that will to win though, no matter how much prep you're going to put in, you're not always going to have the drive to be number one. Thanks guys, have a good one.